Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel for my first video in my beauty and style segment dedicated to editing. So in this video, I'm actually just going to do a really quick, very basic editing tutorial for many of the beauty professionals who have asked me questions on Instagram in regards to editing their pictures. So with that said, let's get started with today's video. So here you see I have my image imported into Adobe Lightroom. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using only Adobe Lightroom and Corel Paintshop Pro. So I have my image here, we're in Lightroom, I'm in my Develop tab, and so I have it set on a before and after view so that way you all can see firsthand what our adjustments are actually going to do for our image. So I just like to start off here in the basic section. And so what I normally do is click on auto to see what is the program going to give me on what it thinks the best setting should be. So that's what the program thinks this image should look like. It's a little bit overexposed, and so I'm just going to correct a little bit of that before we go forward. So I'm just going to dial down the exposure a little bit. I'm going to back off the contrast because I really don't want it to be very harsh in any way. Because I always like for my fashion and beauty images to be very soft, very calm, especially when dealing with any of my female models that I happen to photograph. So we're just going to come back a little bit on some of these levels here. Now, one of the best things that I could tell anybody is when you're in these programs, just kind of play with things. Move the levels all the way from the left all the way to the right, just to kind of see what's actually taking place. What will that do to your particular photo that you're editing? So just like here with clarity, many people know that I'm very big on clarity, but when it comes to fashion, when it comes to models, I'm not very heavy in this department. I just like to add a little bit, if anything at all. That's it. We're not going to be overpowering anything. We want everything to look perfectly natural. Now, I'm going to come back up here, but this time I'm actually going to select my adjustment brush. So I love her hair color, and it's got this very nice golden or blondish silver type of colored going on here. And so I really like that a lot. And so I just want to bring that up a little bit more. I just want to kind of exaggerate it a little bit. So we're just going to accentuate this a little bit because I just want her hair to pop. I really love the color. And so here I'm just going to add a little bit of sharpness, maybe about 25% or so. Just add a little bit in the shadow areas and maybe a little bit in the highlights. And that's it. So we're going to close this. And then we're going to zoom in a little bit. So you kind of see how she has a few markings on her face. And so I'm going to save a lot of this for Corel, but we can do a little bit here to kind of clean up some of this. So I have two brush tools that I can use. I can use clone or heal. So for this one, we want to use our healing brush. I would just want to mark those areas and kind of clean up those spots a little bit. And we're going to do a little bit more once we get into Corel. So I think that looks good. Now we're just going to go to File, Export, choose where you want your image to save, and then you just hit Export. Now we're going to minimize this, and then we're going to come over to our Corel program. And I'm going to go where I just saved that image. Just drag and drop over. And now we're just going to do some final touches here. What I want to do is come in a little tight so that way I can see what I'm doing. And then over here on the left, I have my different adjustment brushes that I can select from. So for this one, I want to use my Dodge brush. And you see her eye color here? I really want to bring that up ever so slightly. Not too much, but I just want to bring up her eye color. Kind of exaggerate it a little bit. Because I think her eye color is very gorgeous. So we just want to add a little bit to that. And we'll do it evenly on the other side as well. Okay. I love that a lot. I think that's really cool. So next, we're going to switch out of that and go to our makeover tool. And this is what I use to fix any blemishes from a model's face that, makeup may not have gotten out or anything, or the application, um, just wasn't. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point, just rambling. But kind of just fixing where there are wrinkles, blemishes, that sort of thing. We just want to get those out. And we just want to use our little tool here and go through and mark wherever some of those spots are and eliminate those. I may want to get this because this is like a strand of hair that's right there. So you kind of see it like glowing a little bit. So we'll kind of get that off. Yep, just get that off right there. Yep, there we go. So very simple, very easy. Now, typically, I'll also go through and get these strands of hair out of her face if I wanted to do that. You can do that as well. But, I'm going to save some of this for some advanced videos because that's a little bit of a harder, um, harder something, I don't know. But it's a little bit more difficult with that, and I just want to keep it to the basics. So I'm going to go back to my dodge tool because here in her lips, I kind of want to exaggerate that a little bit, but not too much. So I'm just going to brighten that a little bit. And then we're going to switch it a little bit, bring down the opacity, and then change the size. And I want to get her upper lip too. Yeah, let's go over that again. Yeah, that looks cool. So now I'm going to go up here to my adjust. And then we're going to do skin smoothing or smoothing. Skin smoothing. So I generally only like to stay between 20 and 40%. Going further than that, then you really get a very, very fake look. Like I'll show you kind of like what that looks like. It's not very pleasing. I know many of you all have cameras that do this feature in the camera. So you kind of see it's a very like pastel-y type of feel that you get. Depending on what you're doing, it may be okay, but yeah, I really like to keep it as natural as possible. So I don't go that high when I'm doing this process. So we're just going to come back down and go to 40%, which is it's perfect enough at 40%. I don't think you need to, go too far over on that. So give it a little while. Okay, we got that. Now I'm going to go back over to my adjustment brush, and I'm just going to take my softening brush and soften some of the areas that may not have gotten as smooth as I would like. And then I'll also go back and then use my smudge tool. And so I'm sure many of you would be like, why use a smudge tool? But this actually works. I find it for how I edit, it's actually works pretty well. And I use it very often. So I think that's it. We're just going to go up here. Oh, I like to do one more thing. I like to go back to adjust, sharpness, and then sharpen. And just give it a little bit more of a kick in the sharpening area. So then we go, save our image, and there we go. So I'll show you what we have here. This is our final image, and then this is what we started with here. So kind of show you guys what that looks like. Put them side by side, like this, and there you have it. Very simple, very basic editing tools that I think anyone will be able to do. There's nothing difficult. I think, it gives you the perfect look with just the most minimal options you can use in these editing programs. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful for some of you beauty professionals. Be sure to check out my website for more information and tutorials on beauty and style at ProfessorHeinz.com. Also remember, I have classes and workshops dedicated just for beauty and style, for editing, advanced editing, lighting, setting up your camera, all sorts of different things. So hopefully this video was very helpful for you all, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. So until next time, I'll see you ladies later.